What's going on, my people? It is your guy Hopeful and bringing you some more Mugen League action. In this fighting game league, we put AI control characters against each other in 2v2 matches. This video will contain sets 1 and 2 of wave 7. So without any further ado, let's get the show on the road.
Mugen League!
Maybe 2 teams at least, minimum. So in the background, Shuriken Shadow charging up, Bartholomew Kuma the Sky. Falls being attempted inside, erupted Sakura and now went for a big Rasengan. Mugen League where we put Mugen League, where we put air control Mugen characters against each other in a league-based format. The first set of this video will be Allied Shinobi Forces 2 going up against Root. For the first game, Allied Shinobi Forces 2 will be represented by Temari and Han, while Root will be represented by Mifune and Hiruzen. The stage will be Gym. This, of course, is the new build of Mugen League. If you're interested in seeing what the patch notes were, you can watch my previous video on Mugen League. But let's get right into it immediately. Mifune and Hiruzen wasting no time, sparing no expense. They're going for multiple specials which catch Han and Temari off guard. Temari trying to go for her wind orbs, but interrupted by Hiruzen, who's trying to interject in the midst of Tamari's pressure. Mud Wall coming out from Hiruzen, defending against his opponents. Steam Ball comes out though, finishes off Mifune. It's just Hiruzen left to fight Temari and Han. Explosive Seal, and you can see one of the effects of that patch change is that when Han stepped on the Explosive Seal, it detonated automatically. In the previous build of Mugen League, that would not happen. Hiruzen would have had to detonate it manually, but it didn't really matter in that round because Han awoken. It didn't matter because Han had awoken into the Five Tails. So, Mifune and Hiruzen still lost that round. Steam Veil, or Hidden Steam, coming out from Han. He gets hit by the Enma Pile Driver. Multiple substitution jutsu being used by Hiruzen, and he actually spawned a clone, which is one of the things with Hiruzen is that when he substitutes, he has a chance of spawning a shadow clone of himself. And we saw that come into play just now. Temari goes down, it's just Han left. Hidden Steam Jutsu has been activated. Hidden Steam Jutsu has a duration nerf, which means it lasts for a fewer amount of seconds, a shorter amount of time. And Mifune and Hiruzen didn't really need that because Hidden Steam was still there when they won. But they're going to take round 2. Round number 3, 1 round apiece between these two teams. Temari, one of the premier zoners in Mugen League. If she gets some distance between herself and her opponents, she can be an absolute menace on that left side of the screen, bro. Nobody holds it down like Temari does, I swear. Angry Roar coming out from Han, dealing a lot of damage to Hiruzen. And here we have Temari channeling her power, charging up her chakra. She's interrupted by the sword speed attack of Mifune. Meanwhile, Han tried to use Angry Roar against Hiruzen, but Hiruzen substituted out of that move multiple times. Here comes the sword speed attack. Hold on, it looked like Root were going to actually lose around here. Lose a game here, but bloody Mifune comes back in with a sword speed attack. Hiruzen trying to attack Temari, goes for the Explosive Seal, and now it's just Mifune left against Han and Temari. I think Han tried to go for the 2-piece combo. He got hit, but Temari with the air combo of her own, finishing off Mifune. A.S.F.2 take the win of the first game. Let this blizzard take you. Moving on into the second game of the first set, we will have Akatsuchi and Gaara go up against Yamato and Danzo. The stage will be the same, Gym. Danzo, Yamato and Gaara all receiving guard cancels in the most recent patch. Gaara starts things off by going for the Sand Wave. He's using Daisan no Mi, but that Daisan no Mi was in the air. And you also saw Gaara's substitution jutsu come out on the Suiton Hanon Ryu from Yamato. So Gaara showing off some changes. Yeah, I like to see it. Gaara, keep it up. Oh my goodness, he got hit by Mokton Jirin Taiho. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Mokton Jirin Taiho still destroying. Somehow, Danzo's Baku did not do enough damage or do any damage to Akatsuchi and Gaara. I'm going to act like Yamato was the reason for that. Yamato, way to go, you interrupted your teammate's combo there. Gaara's substitution not saving him entirely from the onslaught of his opponents, as he's going to get hit by Mokton Jirin Taiho from Danzo. Root taking the first round of game 2. Akatsuchi jumping in, trying to do his best, right? He's trying to combo his opponents while they're getting hit by the Sand Tsunami of Gaara. Mokton Jirin Taiho once more into the Paralysis Jutsu of Danzo. He actually gets the Paralysis Jutsu to connect against Akatsuchi as well. Gaara tried to use Suna no Tate, which is his defensive move. He has a move where he can just, like, you know, The move is on him right now. The effect is on him right now. If you try to hit him at random times, you'll see that. He'll just burst out of it and you won't do any damage. It's like a free substitution, I guess, from Gaara. It's called Suno Natate. He's gonna walk in now, going for the aerial Daisan no Mi. Only the grounded Daisan no Mi actually acts as a counter. Gaara using his substitution jutsu a lot. There it is again. Aerial Daisan no Mi. Gaara has lost his teammate. Akatsuchi was gone long time ago. Gaara is now left to 1v2. But one thing with Gaara is that he can transform into Shukaku, which means he can heal and get more power if he's allowed to actually transform into the Tail Beast. I don't know if that's going to actually happen though. Enhanced Futon Shinku Gyoku coming out from Danzo, sending in the Wind Shuriken, another Wind Shuriken. He's spamming them at this point. Gaara is still fighting Yamato and he's still alive, but the enhanced Futon Shinku Gyoku projectile from Danzo will be enough to finish off Gaara in the end, and just like that, Root are going to end up taking the second game. I carry the style of wood and the will of fire within me. So that is going to end up being a draw for set number 1. Let us move on into set number 2. We'll have Fairy Tail go up against Hidden Leaf Students 2. For the first game, Fairy Tail will be represented by Urza and Jalal. Hidden Leaf Students 2 will be represented by Choji and Kiba. The stage will be Corridor Coliseum. You can actually see there Choji has a different picture in his loading screen art. That's something that I did. And a lot of visuals for the characters, including how their moves look, how they look on the loading screen, all of that I adjusted as well for the characters that needed it. So that's a part of the change that I never mentioned. Gatsuga coming out from Kiba. Now I must mention that Urza actually was a recipient of an AI overhaul, and she also had perfect block and the swordsman trait, where she can hit you while she is guarding or from her guarding state, right? So Urza getting buffs. I also made it so where Jalal was more combo oriented, but none of that is actually coming out. Akiba has been spawned on screen. We're just going to ignore that one for the time being. Choji and Kiba take the first round as I was explaining the changes that I made to Urza and Jalal. Wonderful. Round number 2, Nikudan Hari Sensha from Choji into the Garoga from Kiba. Hello. How is this allowed, bro? He ends it with the giant palm. Kiba clone has made his way onto the screen. Not even Akamaru burst, just straight up a Kiba clone. Choji going for the giant palm into the Nikudan Hari Sensha. Jalal and Urza do not have a leg to stand on. They're getting jutsu to death. Gatsuga coming out from Kiba as well. It's just Urza. Kureha no Yoroi might not be enough. She gets hit by the aerial combo. And of course, Kiba must end it with the Gatsuga. Choji and Kiba just displayed why the Naruto characters are now no longer free. Whoa! I'm just pumped! Let's move on into the second game, right? It will be Laxus and Natsu going up against Shino and Ino. The stage will be the same, Corridor Coliseum. Shino emerging from the ground, ultra cinematic like. Shino using the Mushi toss, but immediately Laxus runs in behind him, tries to get something going, tries to enter a combo. He's not gonna have it happen though, as Shino emerges unscathed from that attack. Gonna go for the Mushi counter, catches both Laxus and Natsu. But Laxus and Natsu not giving up just yet. Carry no Tekken from Natsu, catching Shino and Ino off guard. Guren Baku Enji into the Thunder Halberd from Laxus. I believe Laxus has got hit with the Shin Tenshin no Jutsu from Ino. He's dashing in. Characters being smothered right now. The Mushi counter might be enough to save Shino and Ino, but no. Ino gets hit by Ryuken. It is just Shino left to fight Laxus and Natsu. He's not going to be able to do so. Yeah, Laxus and Natsu kind of smothered their opponents towards the end of that last round. And Shino does well when he has distance, when he has range between him and his opponent. That's how his AI has been coded. But he's not getting to close. He's not getting to create that distance between himself and his opponents. Right? He's constantly in the middle. Now, Shino can still fight up close, but he's just better when he's from range. Insect Elevator, stealing the power away from Laxus and Natsu as it hits. Shino now, close in between both opponents, sending out the Mushi tosses. Shin, Ranshin no Jutsu, Shin Tenshin no Jutsu, both being used by Ino. She's gonna go for Grand Bloom. I think Laxus is left and he finally gets destroyed. He finally gets beat there by his opponents. I think Shino landed a combo against him. The Mushi combos from Shino. Shin Tenshin no Jutsu one more time. It's not broke. Don't fix it. Impossible Heart. Into Shin Tenshin no Jutsu. Into another Shin Tenshin no Jutsu. Alright. Ino, you are cheap. You are a very cheap character. Shin Tenshin no Jutsu again. Into Hyaka Ryura. Yo, Ino, you're mad cheap, Ino. Anyway, My guy Shino is going to jump in, trying to go for the mushy seal combo. He did not need to land the move because Eno already did most of the work. And as such, the students of the Leaf will take a win in game number 2. This battle won't be a problem either. Now, taking the last results into consideration, Hidden Leaf Students 2 will walk away with the victory over Fairy Tail, and they'll get 3 points for their trouble. Fairy Tail, just not enough on this occasion, I'm afraid. That's going to wrap it up for the sets though. So we're going to come to the end of this video. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Leave a like for all the talking, subscribe for more content, and sound your voice in the comments.